Coast. And the Morning Blitz with Ross Volkmer and Max Gershon. This is Rocket 1025 KKCI FM, Goodland, Colby, an NWKS radio station.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. Tulsi Gabbard, President Trump's pick to become Director of National Intelligence, was confirmed by the Senate. And the Senate voted to advance Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s nomination to lead the Department of Health and Human Services, teeing up a final vote on his confirmation later this week. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth says NATO membership for Ukraine is unrealistic, and in sweeping remarks suggested Kyiv should abandon hopes of winning all of its territory back from Russia. Instead, he said the country should prepare for a negotiated peace settlement. President Trump pressuring the Federal Reserve on interest rates. He said lower rates would go hand in hand with his upcoming tariffs, despite economists' expectations that tariffs would fuel inflation. The Dow losing 187 points now, the NASDAQ ahead 16. This is SRN News.
Happy birthday to us. 2 surprises for you. 2 surprises from NordVPN. 2 surprises for you.
Celebrate twice as much with NordVPN. We have a special birthday deal. Get 72% off and a coupon for up to 1 year free. NordVPN is rated as excellent on PC Mag. Visit NordVPN.com and discover one of the most advanced VPNs in the world. What are the benefits? Secure up to 10 devices with a single account. Receive alerts if your email address leaks to the dark web. Reduce the risk of phishing, scams, and malware with NordVPN's Threat Protection Pro tool. Encrypt your online traffic and browse with more peace of mind. Get the special birthday deal at NordVPN.com. Additional terms apply. NordVPN, cybersecurity built for every day.
Here's the latest news and information that impacts you. I'm Derek White. This week was Random Acts of Kindness Week. The Thomas County Community Fund, with the help of 4 youth ambassadors, were spreading kindness throughout the community. Juniors Shaylee Holzmeister and Brittany Schwartz teamed up with seniors Natalie Wadersky and Jalissa Sabatka and handed out 39 dozen donuts to all the teachers in Colby schools, public and private. They also handed out donuts and coffee to the staff at the hospital and donated 3 different surprise grants to local groups. $1,500 to the Downtown Christmas Light Committee, $1,000 to the United Methodist Church Helping Paws Pet Food Bank, and $1,000 to the Thomas County Amusement Foundation. Amazon is planning to build a distribution facility in Salina later this year. The addition is expected to add 100 jobs to the Salina community. The news broke out after Salina Airport Authority announced yesterday that Amazon had purchased 20 acres of land in the Airport Industrial Center. In an interview with Colby City Manager Ron Alexander last week, we discussed the housing crisis in Colby. Identifying a low supply of middle-income housing in the community, the city has taken measures over the last few years to help combat the issue. The community will be gaining 30 new homes in the Walking Trail Lane Division, 9 duplexes by Jimmy John's for retirement individuals, and aspirations to develop a 24-unit townhome complex in downtown Colby. All will be great advancements, but barely able to scratch the surface of the problem. The Knights of Columbus will be doing a pancake feed this Sunday on February 16th at Sacred Heart Basement following 8 a.m. Mass. Free will donations to help fund the Kenton Crable Inclusive Playground. Brewster Lions Club will be hosting a pancake feed this Saturday at Henry Hall. Beginning at 7 a.m., the club will be serving until 10 a.m. All donations will be used for the site and community betterment projects. This Saturday, 6 p.m. to 7 p.m., the Colby-Thomas County Chamber of Commerce is celebrating its 75th birthday with a reverse raffle at the City Limits Convention Center in Colby. The evening will have food, drinks, and entertainment, but the main event will be the reverse raffle with opportunities to win up to $5,000. Go to colbychamber.com to sign up. For more information on this and other stories, visit nwksradio.net.
Rocket 1025.
With your updated forecast, I'm staff meteorologist Paul Trombley from the Weatherology Weather Center. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times today, with daytime highs approaching 53. Winds out of the south, 10 to 15 miles per hour. Chance for snow tonight, lows dip down to around 12. Cloudy skies expected. Slight chance of snow tomorrow. Daytime highs approaching 25. Sunshine mixed with clouds at times. Mainly clear skies and dry. Sunday, clouds on the increase by Monday. Low 30s Sunday, mid 30s by Monday. A peek at the extended shows 13 Tuesday, 17 Wednesday, and 27 on Thursday. A dusting of snow tonight through tomorrow. Get up to the minute weather updates from the Weatherology Weather Center. I'm staff meteorologist Paul Trombley on this NWKS radio station. Right now, it's 25 degrees.
Kansas Farm and Ranch Radio is the place to turn to weekdays for the latest agriculture news and markets. Being a member of the National Association of Farm Broadcasters, we take pride in making sure you're informed of the latest news from the world of agriculture. Whether it's local, state, regional, or national, if it affects your farm or ranch, you can count on hearing it here. Daily reports from Kansas Farm and Ranch Radio are made possible by Farmers State Bank, Norder Supply of Scott City, Cornerstone Ag, and Woofter Construction and Irrigation.
Looking for big savings on a powerful new ride? Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland, Kansas has you covered. Right now, drive home a 2025 Silverado 2500 with just 3.9% financing for 60 months. Need space and style? Get $1,000 customer loyalty cash on a 2024 Chevy Suburban. Or grab a 2024 GMC Sierra 2500 Pro Diesel. Originally just over $67,000, now just over $56,000 with a huge hail discount. Swing by Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland today or shop online at hurlchev.com.
Goodland, get ready for savings. The filter sale at Goodland Automotive, your local CarQuest Auto Parts store, is happening February 17th through the 22nd. Stock up on all types of filters, lubricants, and other essential items in the store at unbeatable prices. Be sure to stop in for their always popular customer appreciation lunch on February 19th. Come for the deals, stay for the great food. As your local CarQuest dealer, Goodland Automotive offers CarQuest quality on top of CarQuest savings. It's the annual filter sale, February 17th through the 22nd.
New year, new projects, and new deals at Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware. Start 2025 with a bang by tackling those home improvements. Refresh your space with vibrant Benjamin Moore paint or stock up on storage totes and shelves, perfect for organizing. Lumber prices are down, making it easier to tackle your next big project. Keep warm while you grill year-round with their top-notch grills and smokers from Traeger and Weber. And don't let the snow slow you down. Check out their great selection of snowblowers from Ego and Toro. It's Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware with locations in Goodland and Colby, your partner for a productive new year.
Phones nowadays can do practically anything, including feed you.
And now they cannot.
Well, that is if you download the McDonald's app. Use the McDonald's app to get deals on the food you love, including McCafe, soft drinks, fries, and so much more. Plus, keep up to date on what's trending at McDonald's with the latest promotions, events, new products, and specials. You can even order and pay from the app. So download it today and score from your local McDonald's at Burlington, Colby, Goodland, and Lamar.
Farmers, the spring crop insurance deadline is fast approaching. Have you started the process of getting a written agreement on crops that are not typically insurable? This deadline is also March 15th, but much more information is needed in order to request coverage. Now is the time to call or stop by the insurance agency in Goodland to review your crops and coverage. See Roxanne, Susan, and Judy at the insurance agency located at 1020 Main in Goodland, or call them at 785-899-5011 for your peace of mind.
At FNB Bank, we understand the backbone of our community is our local farmers and ranchers. Whether you're growing crops, raising livestock, or investing in new equipment, we're here to help you succeed. Our agricultural loans are tailored to meet the unique needs of your farm, with flexible terms from people who understand what it takes to make it in agriculture. When you partner with FNB Bank, you're working with neighbors who know the land and are invested in your success. FNB Bank, rooted in our community, growing with you. Member FDIC.
You ready? 1, 2, 3, 4! It's time for the Morning Blitz with Ross Volkmer.
If you want to win in football, it all starts up front. Mass kicks ass.
And Max Gershon.
Look at their schedule, folks. They played no one, and they never do to start the year until they play Kansas. They get these Mickey Mouse wins out of their ways.
The High Plains only local sports talk show, broadcasting live on Rocket 102.5 and streaming on YouTube, Facebook, and X.
They're basically idiots.
Covering it all from the preps.
Up ahead to Blair Lennon. Lennon the crossover back to Cure. Hello, boom! A two-handed tomahawk flush.
To the pros.
Shotgun snap to Nix. Protection is good. Bold loads it up. He's got it. A receiver there. Franklin makes the catch. In the end zone, touchdown Denver.
The Blitz is presented by Hurl Chevrolet GMC, Hoover Lumber Ace Hardware, and F&B Bank. Along with the insurance agency, the Farmer State Bank in Oakley, the Cowboy Corner Express, and Equity Bank of Hoxie, Quinter, and Grinnell.
Let's go to work.
Picked up by the freshman Luke Gray. Counting. An and one for NDSU.
Here's Williams with the ball. Draws a double. Gives to Morgan. Morgan will shoot a three. He's got it! Andrew Morgan with his fourth three of the year. And Nebraska takes the 28-27 lead.
Held in by Faber at the right point. Long shot. Score! Team USA takes the lead.
Keep the ball moving. Edwards drives in on Wiggins. Anthony Edwards! A serious rack attack.
And good Friday morning, everybody, and happy Valentine's Day to all you lovebirds out there. A nice, beautiful 26 degrees and cloudy outside, getting our Valentine's Day going. It'll be the warmest day, Max, for the next 10 days. High of 54. Go get your golf clubs and your green golf balls so you can actually see what you're hitting out there. Be a nice warm Friday, but I tell you what, temperatures ahead the rest of the week, extremely cold. I tell you what, if you're on the Hurl Chevrolet GMC video stream on Facebook, X, and YouTube, I dressed like a teacher today. That's what my wife said. She said I look like a teacher today with my sweater and my polo underneath. And I feel like I'm doing a show today with Charlie Sheen. It looks a little bit like a bowling shirt a little bit today, like something Charlie Sheen would wear. A little bit like.
I don't even know what that means.
You don't know who Charlie Sheen is? 2.5 Men.
I do know who Charlie Sheen is, but didn't he? Was he on drugs? What happened to him?
No, I'm not saying you're on drugs. I remember in 2.5 Men, he always wore bowling shirts. That's what he wore, and that shirt there looks it's definitely Floridian. You know, it has a Floridian vibe to it. I'm sure that's where you've got it. So
I think I got it in Kansas City, to be honest.
Oh, okay.
Express in Kansas City.
Oh, okay.
A lot of these clothes are
sharp looking shirt, but
Thank
you look like you're about ready to head to South Beach, though.
I wish.
I bet you.
Is that an option? Can the company fly me out?
Budget's better than it used to be, but it's not that good.
Right. That's what I thought. That's what I thought, unfortunately.
Oh my. Yeah. So anyway, hope everyone's having a good start to your Friday morning. Today's program, plenty to get into today. We're going to talk some NFL here in our opening segment. We're talking quarterbacks a little bit. We're going to have some fun a little bit later on. It's kind of once again, this happens to me all the time. I'll wake up in the morning and, usually it's the night before that I try to me and Max try to put together the show the night before and try and just, hey, this is what we're going to do. This is some thoughts, so on and so forth, and throw out some ideas. And of course, it's me. I wake up in the morning and of course I think about, it's Valentine's Day. And it's like, darn it, I need to do something about love. Love, come on, something with love. And so we're throwing together a love segment at the end of the show. What it's gonna be about, I'm still kind of piecing it together in my mind. I think it's gonna be more about things you think that you have loved about sports here over the last couple of years. So we're gonna do that here with love segment coming up here in a little bit. We will talk some high school wrestling and basketball. It's a huge day in the world of wrestling, with it being girls regionals. You've got Goodland and Colby heading to McPherson today, while other 3 through 1A area girls wrestlers will be in Russell competing today for regionals. And once again, you have to finish top 8 in your weight class to advance to the state tournaments. So that is going on today. Huge day as postseason wrestling gets going for I think the fastest growing sport in the nation. In women's wrestling. It is definitely growing exponentially. It wasn't that long ago, Max, just a couple years ago. Of course, when it started, it just took one day to do regional wrestling for the ladies. And now it takes 2 because there's so many that are in there. So salute to them and their coaches, and best of luck to all the ladies competing today. Hope you're able to achieve your goals, whether that's, winning a round or 2 or making it all the way to state or placing at state, whatever it may be. Best of luck to all the ladies out there as they begin postseason wrestling today. How are you doing this morning? How are you feeling besides South Beachy?
I'm feeling great. People, probably you don't, and probably most people that listen, but my GOAT, Drake, dropped an album last night, so I listened to that.
Any retaliation?
Small. He does little small things that you could call retaliation, but it's just good music and it puts me in a good mood, and that's what I'm going to listen to again before the game tonight. And so I'm doing great. I'm in a great mood right now. It's
amazing. Since I asked the question, if you could tell me more about the halftime show, how much information I have learned through osmosis about Kendrick Lamar's halftime show. It is unbelievable how much this thing known as the cell phone picks up on your stuff and has fed me information. I know more about the Kendrick Lamar halftime show and everything about it than I ever thought I would, which now that the more I know, I'm more like, boy, that guy, he thinks on a different level than I do because I am not that smart.
And they really, people dissect everything, and there's
You're right.
There's some level I think they dissect it, and it's like I don't even think he thought of that, and I think they just dissect the living crap out of it. But who knows? Who knows? It's some people's music, and it's not other people's music, and that's just
they dissected it so much. It makes me think that if Kendrick Lamar took that power that he has for songwriting, maybe he could cure cancer. Some of the stuff they've come up with, I'm like,
I agree with you. They've come up with some crazy stuff. They've come up with some crazy stuff. Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah. Anyway, that was very interesting on that side of things. But anyway, moving on here on a Friday edition of the Morning Blitz. Once again, happy Valentine's Day. Shout out to producer Papa Gershon. He's saying happy Valentine's Day. Glad he is here. Well, yes, let's dive in. And if you want to be part of the Morning Blitz, we'd love to hear from you. Love to hear from you here on this Valentine's Day. With the F&B Bank text line at 785-899-2222. 785-899-2222 to be a part of the program here today. So yesterday, Max sends me this article talking about the Chiefs three-peat and their loss of getting to the three-peat. And anyway, and the article, once again, to me was interesting. It was talking about Chiefs they were talking within this article, the Chiefs passing game coordinator, Joe, I think it's Blameyer is how you say his last name. And the quote is, they were talking about the feeling of joy should be coaching the greatest quarterback of all time. And Coach Blameyer says, quote, "It makes it much more stressful. You feel the burden as a coach as you're putting a game plan together to not waste his abilities, to not go through a season where you don't give him the opportunity, to not screw it up as a coaching staff. So rather than feeling like this unbridled excitement that we could do anything, it's actually more like a terror. We cannot be the reason that we screwed up this guy or this team," end quote. I thought that quote was very fascinating from Joe Blameyer. I wanted to get your thoughts on this article since you were the one that presented it to the group.
It's a very un-Chief-like quote, in my opinion. From the way that this organization is ran top to bottom, they don't really say a lot of controversial things or anything of that sort of nature that would be off base of what everyone else thinks or what Andy thinks or what Matt Nagy thinks or what Clark Hunt thinks or what Veach thinks. So this definitely caught my attention because, like I said, it's not something you're used to hearing out of the Chiefs front office and the Chiefs camp. It's a very weird way to think about. I don't think you can succeed thinking like that. I don't think you can succeed in creating an offense when you feel when in your mind it's just pressure, like we can't mess this up. We can't mess this up. You need to have the freedom and the thought process of, I have this unbelievable talent. I need to, how can I use this to create something great instead of not mess up, And I honestly, you can kind of sense that in some of the offense that we've seen throughout the last 2 years as kind of a not mess up kind of offense, which, has worked. So there's no real problem with it, but it's just it was very surprising. I thought it was fake at first, to be honest, because you just don't hear that kind of stuff coming from Chiefs coaches at all. So I'd be very interested to see if they ask Mahomes about this or ask anyone else about this quote, because it's kind of worrisome. It's definitely worrisome. It might get swept under the rug a little bit, but I think it is pretty worrisome as a Chiefs fan to read something like that from a coach.
More comments here from Blameyer. Quote, "Are we utilizing Mahomes the best? Are we giving him the stuff that he needs? Is it constantly it's just constantly second guessing ourselves so that he has everything he needs to go be himself?" I don't know how to describe how I feel about this article because it seems so odd that anybody would coach this way. You make it sound like as if, if we don't do a good job, he's going to fail. Like you have to coach him so good and call the right plays so well. Otherwise, he's going to not be good. That to me is so dumb. You have the best quarterback in the league. Call the play that you believe is going to work, and he's going to try and make it work. I can't imagine there is a football coach or a coach, period, that sits back and thinks, golly, how in the world do I find a way to do this? No, you call a play and get out of the way and let them go do it. If Mahomes is thinking this, where he doesn't think that the offensive staff is putting together enough game plan, I'm sure he has the authority to go out there and change the play at the line of scrimmage and make the change that he wants to. I mean, I don't get it. To me, this article almost feels like, a little bit unreal. Like it's a really, really, really deep dive into someone who, we'd never heard of before, at least I never had of, and talking about this. I don't understand it. And they're talking about this, and now it's all post game. It's all post game after their attempt at a three-peat, and and there was a little bit later on there they talk about Leo Chanel and how the players at halftime felt that they needed to play better. There was a burden on them to try and get this three-peat done, so I can see the pressure of the players. Oh, yeah. I can totally see the pressure of the players, including Patrick Mahomes. And I feel like as if they did a really good job all throughout the season, like knowing that was a goal, but not letting it impact them throughout the season. And even though they didn't play great at times throughout the regular season, they still found ways to get it done. Look, they ran into a buzzsaw on Sunday. That's just what happens sometimes. You're going to run into a team that has a great game plan, and they have things that you don't. That happens sometimes. They have an elite pass rush. And I've been visiting with lots of Chiefs fans about this. When you're going to sit back and block with 7 and they're going to send 4 and they still get home, that's a problem. That's going to be a humongous problem. And that's the issue. I don't think there's anything that the Chiefs staff could have done other than maybe running the fumble-rooski do that might have possibly helped the Chiefs in that game. There's nothing that they could have probably done in that game to help out the scenario that was, other than prepare better for the next time, which that means you've got to invest more in your offensive line, which means you're going to have to move money around to do that.
Yeah.
Like if you flip around and let's say you put Mahomes on the Eagles. I mean, that's a ridiculous team. Absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, that's doesn't lose the game.
Probably not. They probably go unbeaten.
Yeah.
With that defense, that offense, that line, that's unbelievable. The Eagles have got everything in place, and they have a quarterback who's not Mahomes level, but still very good and does a lot of good things, particularly running the football, which is a very dangerous part of the game of football. A running quarterback absolutely is a dangerous part, and Mahomes does his part. This article to me just was like, I don't even know how to describe it. It's just like ick. Like if that's the way you're coaching, worried about, are we going to have the right play call for Mahomes to have success? That's what you do when you worry when you have whoever else quarterback, Daniel Jones.
Right, but then go coach Will Levis. If you don't want the pressure, then get out. Get out of the kitchen. Get out. Well, it seems
you base your game plan not upon your own quarterback, but on what you believe your offensive pieces can do successfully against the opposition's defensive pieces. But not based upon what your quarterback can and cannot do. You already know that.
The part that's worrisome to me is that I don't feel like he would say this if he felt that he was alone in this thought process. You know what I mean? I don't feel like
I cannot see Andy Reid thinking
not
this
Andy, but Matt Nagy is who I'm thinking most likely. If there was another person that was feeling this way about coaching Patrick Mahomes, it would be Matt Nagy, and it would make sense. And I would totally believe that he's someone else that's thinking this way. And there's a lot of people that don't like Matt Nagy and think, you can look at the numbers with Mahomes, with Eric Bieniemy. I know there was Tyreek Hill there too, but look at the numbers. It's been downhill offensively since Matt Nagy joined. And, I don't know. It's very worrisome to me that there's coaches that that feel this way, or at least a coach that feels this way about coaching Patrick Mahomes. It's just not a way you're going to succeed looking at it like that. I get that there's pressure. There's no way of avoiding that, but it feels like he was eaten by the pressure instead of embracing it. You know what I mean? I think that was the what I got from this article, and it's just it was just unchief like, very unchief.
Pressure to me is in the wrong spot.
Right.
Like, you're putting the pressure on yourself so that Patrick Mahomes can have success. Shouldn't it be you put pressure on yourself so that your offense has success?
Yeah.
That's how it should be, right? I mean, that's how I would, I guess, if I'm not, how is my offense going to have success? Are we going to be able to run the ball? Are we going to be able to convert on third down? Are we going to be able to do these things? Instead of saying, well, we got to make a game plan so that Patrick can have success. See, to me, that almost makes it sound like as if, well, we're only worried about Patrick because if Patrick is good, then everybody else is good.
But that's not even what he cares about. He doesn't care about it. It's been obvious over the last 2 years that he doesn't care about his own personal stats and his own personal whatever. There seems to be a missing link on whatever this passing coordinator, and I want to know what his relationship with Patrick is like. I really do want them to ask Patrick about this whenever they get back. But it's just it's concerning, definitely.
Producer Papa Gershon has a question about the offensive line. He's been on this a lot. He says Joe Thuney completely overpowered by their end. Did he have a bad day? Could he slow him down the next time they play, or is it just too small to handle this type of pass rush or the profile of the right tackle, tall, long arms? Thuney isn't that. Look, I'm not putting anything on Joe Thuney. Joe Thuney's playing out of position.
Yeah.
Joe Thuney is a guard. He's a guard, and you're putting him at tackle. So you're trying to take someone that has a whole nother set of skills. So that's like telling a defensive back, in a different way of saying this, it's like it's like in basketball. You're telling the point guard to go play the 5. It's a different spot. And even though your point guard may be 6'10", he doesn't have the skills to go up against big guys down low.
We absolutely did set up Joe Thuney to fail. There's no other way around it. But he was doing good against worse pass rushers. And Caliendo. The mixing and the matching of the offensive line all year was set up for failure on the biggest stage. I mean, this is what I was talking to Nick Athen about, that he didn't believe me the week before the Super Bowl. Like, these guys, the defensive pressure even the Texans got good pressure on the Chiefs, but the talent was just too much for the Texans defense, and they was able to exploit different parts of that Texans defense, and the holes were not there against the Eagles. So it's just there that was set up. It was a whole season basically of that offensive line that was just going to be set up for failure because there was mixing and matching and panic, and the rookies completely underperformed. Wanye completely underperformed. Kingsley completely underperformed. And honestly, even they were kind of set up for failure. So,
rookie, I'm not going to put, you're exactly right. Their plan for the offensive line when the season began did not come to fruition.
Yeah.
The Chiefs have been very good about drafting and developing talent. They've been very good about that. They have not done a great job on the offensive line in that department.
And Andy, there was another article that came out that I think Andy wanted to move Joe Thuney earlier in the year to left tackle. But I think him and Andy Heck had a disagreement on Joe's ability to play left tackle. And that would have been interesting to see earlier in the year, but it wouldn't have made a difference. But, it's just interesting to see these things like the passing coordinator and that with Andy Heck and Andy Reid, just those things come out because this coaching staff is not very, you don't hear a lot about it. You don't really even know who's calling the plays half the time with Andy Reid and Matt Nagy. You don't know who's who, what's doing what in a lot of Chiefs teams. So it's interesting to hear all this stuff and a little bit concerning.
To me, the biggest reason why the Chiefs did not three-peat this year was the simple fact that they did not lock up the most, if not the most important, the second most important position group in football, the offensive line. You could argue number one is defensive line, and the Chiefs had a great defensive line. They've done a good job drafting guys and developing guys and also bringing in guys. Offensive line wise, whether it be injury or guys not developing or not working out, that was the biggest reason why the Chiefs did not three-peat. And to me, it's the biggest reason why the Eagles won was because they were better in the trenches. Simple as that.
Absolutely.
Simple as that. Because they, especially defensively, they were able to, once again, get pressure on Mahomes, make him uncomfortable with just 4 guys, which means there were 7 guys back there to try and cover what? 4 guys? 7 on 4. And give also big credit to Cooper DeJean did a great job. That pick 6 changed that game. And Zach Bond's pick was huge. And that was a very difficult catch for a linebacker to make. And he made a great play. So anyway, before we get to break, there was news. It is official now that the Jets are moving on from Aaron Rodgers. He is out at New York. Are you surprised by this news?
No. Well, I'm a little surprised that. And maybe I'm a little surprised.
I brought this up in weekend winners and losers this week. But
yeah, I'm a little surprised maybe that the Jets were over him because he's had a lot of control over the Jets and has had a lot of control over the Packers. But I mean, this is a complete failure for the New York Jets. I mean, they had so much hope going into this. Then he gets hurt, misses a year, comes back. They stink. The talent's around them for the Jets. I don't necessarily think they made the right head coaching hire. I think it's going to be another few years before they get it together. But I don't know. Is he going to? I was messing with my Packers fan buddies that he's going to go to the Vikings, and that could be a very true possibility. Just to do the exact same route as Brett Favre, Jets, Vikings, after the Packers. But he's a mess. Who would want this guy? Really, Raw? I mean, who on earth would want this guy as their quarterback right now?
Well, I don't know, but it takes a special teammate to deal with him, and it takes but the thing is, when he gets cooking, golly, he's good. Golly, when he gets cooking, he's good. And I feel bad for the Jets, honestly. I said this on Monday. I feel bad for them because if you think about it, they invested all kinds of money in him and getting in Devontae Adams and Alan Lazard and all of his buddies to come and play. And they got 2 seasons. They got 18 starts and 6 measly wins is all they got.
Yeah.
Not to mention all the headaches that come with it, dealing with his Achilles and all of his Pat McAfee stuff and all of his stuff that it does down in South America, whatever it may be. It's a lot to handle. And they took on all that, saying, we'll take all that pressure and all that stuff and deal with it because we're going to get wins. And it didn't happen. And I think I don't know. I mean, could it work in Minnesota? He's got weapons, but once again, just because you've got weapons doesn't always mean that you're going to be good. It's such a timing thing with Rodgers, and you have to be on the same page as him all the time. That's why he likes to work with his wide receivers because they all know the timing. It's a timing thing, and it has been for a very long time. And so if you get Justin Jefferson and Addison, which are 2 great wide receivers, do they have the timing with Aaron Rodgers? Are they going to break the exact same way that he does? He computes and plays at a different level than everybody else, whether it be higher or off to the left. He plays in a different realm, and you have to be in that realm in order for it to all work, and it never did for the Jets. Now, once again, I do believe that the Jets struggled mightily because they do not have a good enough offensive line to protect Aaron Rodgers. You can always point to if your offensive line is not good enough to run the football a little bit and protect your quarterback, you're probably not going to have the success that you hope for.
Yeah, I just think that there's 2 teams in mind that I think Aaron Rodgers could land, and it's probably Las Vegas and Minnesota. Would be my 2.
I would predict Vegas at this point in time if I had to put any money.
God, that'd be so bad for them. Pete Carroll and what a joke of a franchise the Raiders are.
But it would be great for him because Carroll, I think, would say, we're going to run the football, we're going to power it, and all you have to do is throw these little passes. If you can you do this for me? That's the hardest thing. Well, he's got Brock Bowers.
To throw, but who they running the ball with?
I don't know. Maybe they draft someone. There's good running backs in this year's draft class.
There is, but they got a lot of holes to fix on that team. I don't know. It'll be interesting to follow. it'll be interesting to follow for sure.
Why would anyone want a control freak leading their team? Look, I
think every quarterback is a control freak.
They are in some sort of ways.
He's a different beast. Different beast.
Michael chimes in, EpiBank text line with, he says Steelers or Raiders. I can't see him going to the Steelers.
No.
I can't see that. That's something I can't see.
Why would they get another? I mean, I think they're going to stick with Russ.
Could be. I don't know.
For a
We'll have to
bit
find
until
out.
Justin's ready, but we'll see.
All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk some high school basketball, a little bit high school wrestling as well. Next, listening to the Morning Blitz here on a Friday.
The Farmer State Bank of Oakley has been financing agriculture since the day we opened our doors. Hello, this is Corbin, and we are proud to be your locally owned partner in ag. We invite you to come and visit with us when you need to purchase new or used farm equipment, or need any type of agriculture or business loan. We have the knowledge, experience, and financial resources to keep you growing. The Farmer State Bank of Oakley, a tradition of community and agriculture for over 115 years. Member FDIC.
It's time for a check of the markets with the Anderson Trade Group on the Kansas Farm and Ranch Radio Network.
Good morning. This is Kate Council with the Anderson Trade Group. Today is Friday, February 14th. On the overnights last night, March corn higher 3.5 at 4.97. May up 3 3/4 at 5.09 3/4. July up 3 cents at 5.12. September up 2 at 4.76 3/4. December up 1 1/4 at 4.74. March soybeans up 7.5 at 10.37.5. May up 7 at 10.54. July up 6.5 at 10.69.5. August up 6 1/4 at 10.66 3/4. Chicago wheat, the March contract higher 13 at 5.90 3/4. May up 12 1/4 at 6.04 1/4. July up 12 1/4 at 6.15 1/4. September up 12 at 6.29. Kansas City wheat, the March contract higher 12 on the overnight at 6.10 1/4. May up 11 3/4 at 6.21 1/4. July up 11 3/4 at 6.31 1/4. September hard wheat up 11 1/4 at 6.43. On the stock market this morning, the Dow down $63 at 44,748. The S&P down $1.50 at 6,133. Gold lower $4.30 an ounce, 2,941. Crude oil up 37 cents a barrel at 71.66. If you have any questions about marketing grain or whether to talk about risk management options, give our Colorado office a call, John Hankey or John Stiles at 970-744-4484. Or in our Kansas City office, myself, Tom Slido, Jared Law, or Tyler Ghosh at 913-748-3000.
The Anderson Trade Group, proud market partners with Kansas Farm and Ranch Radio. Find out more at andersongrain.com. The risk of loss through trading futures and or options is substantial, and each investor and or trader must consider whether this is a suitable investment. Past performance, whether actual or indicated, is not indicative of future results. The Anderson Trade Group has no guarantee that the advice given will result in profitable trades.
Our farmers feed us all. For generations, they've done what's best for the land. So why is the litigation industry threatening Kansas farmers' go-to crop protection tool? Without glyphosate-based herbicides, crop yields will drop, costs will soar, and we'll all see even higher grocery bills. Farmers need to be supported, not controlled. To keep glyphosate available in our state, go to TakeControlKansas.com. Paid for by Modern Ag Alliance in support of Kansas farmers.
Night of Country Legend, featuring the frontman of country, Larry Stewart, formerly of Restless Heart. Richie McDonald, formerly of Lone Star. And Tim Rushlow, formerly of Little Texas. Frontman of Country, live at the Colby Event Center, Saturday, May 3rd. Get your tickets now at nwksradio.net.
Whether it's touchdowns, home runs, or buzzer beaters, we've got you covered. It's the Morning Blitz.
Mentioned off the top of the show today, going to be a very, very busy day in wrestling today with girls regionals going on today and tomorrow. Colby and Goodland going to the 4A McPherson regional. Other area wrestlers from 3 through 1A classifications going to Russell for their regional here today. I expect we visited with Colby High School wrestling coach for the boys, Cole Garcia, earlier this week. That's up on the podcast. I'm going to go back and check that out. He talked about, Colby's really riding high going into a really good showing at the GWAC, winning that league tie. We expect to see some pretty good performances there. Goodland, of course, still has Destiny Gonzalez, who's the reigning champion in her weight class. Interested to see how she stacks up here in her senior campaign, and other good wrestlers as well from around the region. So we'll be recapping that coming up on Monday. But that's going on today. Once again, you have to be in the top 8 of your specific weight class to qualify for the state tournament next week, and that's the big thing. So you got to pretty much get on the podium in order to be there, top 8. In other wrestling last night, there were a couple tune-up senior nights for Goodland and Colby. Colby beat Holcomb 66-11. Goodland lost to Norton 50-21. A couple of duels last night. There is some other postseason wrestling at the JUCO level. You got the NJCAA South Central District qualifier in Pratt. That's where Colby and Fort Hays Tech Northwest will be. Those are Districts 2, Region 2, and Region 6. Go and compete there in the South Central District qualifier in Pratt. High school basketball, a little bit of action last night. Quinter visited Hill City. Quinter girls with a 59-26 win. Boys game was a real barn burner, 71-70 in overtime. Quinter gets the win over Hill City. Quinter having a really good season, boys and girls wise. They're having some really good years. They'll be a team that's going to make some deep postseason run on both sides of the ledger. And then today, you got a good slate of games. St. Francis hosting Wallace County. Oakley making its way to Ellis. Hoxie will take on Plainville. Colby will visit Cimarron today, which you can listen to on 100.3 The Ride. What was that?
We'll be at home.
Sorry, my bad. Colby hosts Cimarron, excuse me. Wheatland Grinnell hosts Cheyenne. Tri-Plains Brewster gets Logan Palco. Golden Plains versus Northern Valley. Weskin at Western Plains, and Goodland down south at Ulysses. The boys game, I expect Colby to bounce back. It's been a very tough year for Cimarron. They still do not have a GWAC win. They came close a couple weeks ago. They almost beat Ulysses in overtime. They lost. Heartbreak for Cimarron there. But the girls game, on the other hand, Cimarron's been kind of that team. They've been really close to knocking off some teams. Been very competitive in a lot of games, just haven't gotten it done. And Colby's played some of those type of games with some opponents this year where it's been a little bit closer, but they're able to pull it out in the end.
They did that against Cimarron the first time these two teams played. It was close for a while. So I'll be interested to see how that one goes. And then, I expect the boys to maybe take some anger out tonight after losing their 4th game to Goodland this year against Cimarron. So, 2 games at the Colby Event Center tonight. We'll have coverage on 100.3 The Ride. About 15 minutes before the game starts, we'll do pregame. And, I'm excited. Only 2 more games at home. So come out, support the team. And we'll have I think we're going to do a special coverage next Friday for senior night. I'm still in the works of some stuff, but I'm excited. Cooking up some stuff for senior night.
There you go. So that's going on tonight over on 100.3 The Ride right here on Rocket 102.5. Goodland down at Ulysses. Cowgirls looking to bounce back. They have not lost 2 in a row this season. That is one thing they have done well. They have had losses, but they have not lost 2 in a row at this point in time. They have Bill Bierman has talked about their ability to bounce back. I feel like they'll have a good chance to do that tonight. They're taking on a Ulysses team that has lost 13 straight. They have not won since they were in the topside tip-off tournament, which is like the 4th game of the season. So it's been a very, very rough year for Ulysses ladies basketball, and it has been rough for a long time. I went back and looked. Ulysses in 2019 made it to this 4A state tournament, and they won 18 games. I think they went 18-5. Is that right? I think that's right. 18-5 they went that year. Since then, they have won 12 games total in that span. It has been a very rough stretch for Ulysses basketball. They just do not have a lot of size. They have a lot of small, quick guards, but they're just not a great offensive team. Their defense is actually pretty good. They force over 20 turnovers a game. I mean, they're good at really pestering teams. They just can't find a way to put it in the bucket on the other end.
Yeah.
That's been the hardest thing for Ulysses ladies. And then on the men's side, once again, I give a lot of credit to Matt Cox. He's a fantastic coach. They're a well-coached team. They just don't have the depth of dudes to beat a lot of teams. I do like their big man down low. He's undersized, and Corbin Durking, I like the way he plays. He plays off 2 feet. He's very well good big man. And then they've got Julian Mraz, which can fill it up at times.
Definitely.
But, if the Cowboys can just take care of their business, I feel like they can get a win as well. So today it's kind of a business trip for Goodland. You're probably the better team on the floor in both games on paper. As long as you take care of your business, you should be able to be all right. I will give Ulysses credit. It can be a tough place to play. Their student section gets into it. They have a good time down there. It can be kind of a ruckus house. So I give them a lot of props. They got a good student section down there. And so, I look forward to the games tonight there in Ulysses.
I said that even in Ulysses. I respect that. I respect their student section because, even though they don't necessarily win a lot, then their team is solid, but they don't get a lot of wins. And even if they're down by a lot, if someone hits a 3, they go crazy. Like, I just respect it. They don't really care about the score as long as their guys are out there.
And their band is pretty good. I think, remember, their band's pretty good. They have a nice student section / band section, so it feels, they make it a good atmosphere. I believe they play well.
I will still say the best atmosphere, and this is still my first trip around the GWAC, but the best atmosphere, in my opinion, was Hugoton.
Yeah, that's probably what
Hugoton's. Again, that was a fantastic game as well down there, and that's really probably helped it out. But my goodness, that was so fun. It was loud. It was awesome. I think Goodland's probably close. Goodland versus Colby is good always too. It was a little more difficult with the snow, but in the topside tip-off tournament, the atmosphere there was really good early in the year. But it's kind of tough for the event center because it's like it's just more spread out. I mean, the college plays there, so it's there too. So it's not really that high school atmosphere where you're on top of the players, you're right next to them. It's still good. It still gets loud, but it's different.
I think people would agree on that.
Yeah.
I don't think you're speaking anything out of turn. No, the Max is a great facility and a great place for basketball. Yeah. But Hugoton's student section right there at point blank range, which actually is questionable because there's a lot of times I've been there and you just see like, it's going to get a little close there, boys.
Yeah.
Careful. Going to have some troubles. I mean, every time I've been to Hugoton, I've seen student section get like, well, that's someone who's going to get ran out of here. I've seen a parent get ran out of there. I've seen all kinds of things.
It reminds me of my high schools.
The other thing that's funny too about Hugoton is, where they sit you for the media there up in kind of the corner. They have that guy playing the music, and you see they have the decibel meter up there, and that's because they made an agreement that with the people, like, we can't go above this decibel, otherwise people get mad. So
it's a great atmosphere. It really is. I really did enjoy it there, and it was such a good game too. That made it all.
Which is why it's very difficult to win there. By the way, I mean the boys had not lost a league game at home, I think, in 4 or 5 years prior to Goodland going down there and winning this year. Like, they just don't lose there because. Yeah. Part of that reason is they're good, but other part of the reason is, well, they got a great atmosphere they play in all the time. So,
absolutely.
But no, back to the original point. Ulysses has a good student section and band as well, and so, like I said, if Goodland just goes down there and take care of their business, I think you can both find a way to get wins tonight here on Goodland's Rocket 102.5. Before we get to break, there's plenty of college basketball on tap for Saturday. Colby is at home hosting Pratt. That would be a homecoming for Pratt point guard Hunter Vaughn, one of my favorite players. That's played in the region in many years. He is back there at home playing in front of the home crowd. I expect a big game. I'm not saying Pratt's going to win. I expect a big game from Hunter Vaughn. I'm guessing 20-plus points and 8+ assists. You're going to watch him play. I'm
going to be doing PA.
Okay, I can't wait to get your thoughts on Hunter Vaughn and his play.
I've heard, Braden and Kaysen have told me a little bit about him. So
he has a feel for the game that I have not seen since. I mean, there's great players that we've seen this year. Great players. Jay Acosta, Brady Brumbaugh, Guy Tubbs. Something about Hunter Vaughn, because he's the point guard, he has got just a feel. I've always said, if I was a coach somewhere at a college program, like a D2 or a D1 program, my first call would be to him and say, I want you to come run my team. I swear, I don't care what side. I don't care if it was Duke or if it was Krappenburg State. Doesn't matter. That guy knows how to play the point guard spot. I have always been a huge fan of him. But anyway, he's at home versus Colby for a homecoming game. I expect a big game. 40 Tech Northwest at home hosting Seward. Tigers trying to get back on the winning side of things. On the men's side, we'll see if they can get that done. They've beaten Seward once this year. It actually sparked their winning ways here before the Christmas break with a win right before the holidays. K-State at BYU and KU at Utah. Late game, late tip-offs, 8 and 9 Central Time as they go out west for K-State and KU. I'm still fascinated. I got to see how long can K-State carry this winning streak. And as Wyatt Thompson said yesterday, hey, that BYU game is the next biggest game on the schedule.
If they win tonight, they're winning out. That's my prediction. If they win tonight, they are winning out. And watch out in the Big 12 tournament because, they're hot Wildcats right now, folks. And
there's hot, and then there is white hot.
And
I'm telling you, they are
and
there bumping against it.
I get swarmed at the event center by K-State fans because I usually wear my KU stuff, and it's I got to be honest, they're playing some good basketball right now. And if they win, I'm telling you folks, if they win tonight, they will beat Iowa State at the end of the year. And watch out in the Big 12 tournament. And if they play well there, watch out in the NCAA tournament because this is a talented team. They've been talented. They just couldn't put it together. So
yeah,
there you go.
And KU at Utah, I expect KU to get a win there. Utah's kind of a sleepy basketball place unless
they'll keep
really
it close
good.
for the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, they'll be over.
And then Hunter will kind of just
slowly just pull
shot his way into for a 20-point lead.
Other college games real quickly. Colorado hosting Central Florida. That's at 1 Mountain Time. That'll be a shock to the system for UCF a little bit and the weather-wise when they get off the bus. And then Nebraska going to Northwestern on Sunday again. Huskers trying to rebound. They lost at home to Maryland last night, 83-75. I'll tell you what, Nebraska fought hard. They were down a man with injury. 2 of their better players were sick with the flu, but they tried to play and didn't. One guy played well, the other guy did not. But I'll tell you, Maryland made buckets. And I mean, every time they got a glimpse of daylight, they hit it. They've got a young freshman named Derek Queen, not to be confused with Dairy Queen, but Derek Queen. And that guy is a baller. He can play. At 6'10", 6'11", he is so good around the bucket. Holy cow. And Nebraska don't have an answer for him. And so Huskers lose at home, 83-75. They need to bounce back at Northwestern, which they have rarely played well at Northwestern because that's kind of a sleepy place to go play there at Wells Ryan. Anyway, so there you go. A look at college basketball this weekend. All right, let's get to our break. When we come back, time for sports. It's Valentine's Day. We're going to talk sports crushes. That's next here on the Morning Blitz.
Big savings are waiting at Hurl Chevrolet GMC in Goodland, Kansas. Get a 2025 GMC Sierra 2500 with 4.9% financing for 60 months, or drive off in a 25 GMC Sierra 1500 with $2,750 in rebates or 2.9% financing for 48 months. Plus, don't miss your chance to save big on their last hail vehicle, a 24 GMC Sierra 2500 Pro Diesel, originally just over $67,000, now just over $56,000. Deals this good won't last. Hurry to Hurl Chevrolet GMC today or shop online at hurlchev.com.
Hello, this is Dr. Travis Days, Physician and Chief Medical Officer at Goodland Regional Medical Center. February may be Heart Month, but taking care of your heart should be a year-round priority. Risk factors for heart disease include family history, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, smoking, lack of mobility, or excessive weight. If you have these risk factors, be sure to make an appointment with your primary care provider or visit our cardiologist at GRMC. For more information, visit our website at goodlandregional.com.
Buy one iPhone 16 Pro Max and get one on Next Tech Wireless. iPhone 16 Pro Max is powered by the A18 Pro chip and built for Apple Intelligence. Now available in 4 stunning finishes: black titanium, white titanium, natural titanium, and desert titanium. Which iPhone 16 Pro Max color will you choose? Stop by a location near you to take advantage of this amazing deal today. Next Tech Wireless, connecting Kansans.
If you're shopping for a banking institution, visit with Equity Bank of Hoxie, Grinnell, and Quinter, Kansas. The Equity Bank is heavily invested in local business and activities contributing in many ways back to their community. Their employees are involved with many organizations and area events. Plus, a lot of experience comes with that staff. You'll find valuable local assistance when you bank at the Equity Bank of Hoxie, Grinnell, Quinter, and other locations in Western Kansas. The Equity Bank, member FDIC.
Breaking down the plays, the players, and the passion.
Who's got it better than us? Nobody!
This is the Morning Blitz.
screwed up, Max. I should have flipping had "Let's Get It On" as the entry song. Here's what I should have had for Valentine's Day. Screwed that up. Favorite love songs. Walk off coming up here. We're going. This is one of my favorite times of the year. Talking about that coming up here in the walk off. But as we continue on here on the Morning Blitz on a Friday, if you want to chime in on the FB Bank text line at 785-899-2222, and you want to drop in, we're going to talk sports crushes. Your sports crush or crushes. And so if you have a athlete or a team or something, and of course we all have our favorite teams. Like that's the thing. I don't want, we all know Max loves the Chiefs. We all know Max loves KU. We know that stuff. That's obvious. Do you have like a secret crush in sports of something along those lines? Maybe one you're not proud of?
I don't know about a crush.
Well, I said, I'm trying to tie in Valentine's Day in sports.
Who's yours? Because you seem to have one in mind.
Yeah, I was thinking about this. I have a couple of athletes in mind that I kind of have sports.
Yeah, I got one.
I got one now. And so I'll start with my sports crush. And yes, it's on my favorite school. It's Nebraska men's basketball's Sam Hoiberg is one of my crushes in basketball. Now, most people be like, well, who the heck is Sam Hoiberg? And who the heck is this guy? Well, if you watch Nebraska basketball, you'll see Sam Hoiberg. He's only 5'10" on a good day. He's not real tall. He wasn't blessed with his dad's athletic height. He wasn't blessed with his dad's uncanny ability to knock down everything he shoots. But he plays the game, I believe it's the way it should be played, with relentless energy and effort. He gets more out of his 5'9", 5'10" body against guys that are 2 to 3 times bigger and more athletic, but he finds a way to play the game. He may only average 4 points a game. He may only average a couple rebounds a game, but I bet he averages at least 2 to 3 steals a game. Takes a charge every now and then. I like the way he plays the game. I'm short. I'm white. So is he. I have a crush on him.
He's 6 feet tall.
That would be on a good day.
Listed as 6 feet tall.
I'm guessing he's probably 5'10".
All right, mine is Fernando Tatis Jr. of the San Diego Padres. Okay. I don't care how many steroids he did or did not take. That guy is the swaggiest baseball player I've ever seen in my life. He brings so much flash and energy into the sport where I think it needs more of guys like him that they will just, he is so electric to watch, and the vibe of San Diego just fits him so well. Everything about Fernando is like, he will always be my favorite non-Royal when it comes to baseball. I think just he is so fun to watch. When he hits a home run and he knows it, he does the trot, he does the dance, he's got the swag, he's got the glasses, he's got the athleticism. It's everything about him. I love it. Is so sick watching him play baseball. So that would be mine. That would be mine outside of Kansas City.
I've got another sports crush. Once again, he's still on one of my favorite teams, the Arizona Diamondbacks, and that would be Corbin Carroll. I love the way Corbin Carroll plays baseball. And I also same type of thing here, probably for Bobby Witt. I'm not a Royals guy, but I love guys who once again play with unbelievable energy and effort. If you're sprinting around the base paths, if you're trying to stretch doubles into triples, if you're trying to beat out stuff to first, no matter what, I'm all for it. So I'm all about hustle and effort more than I am about the constant skill. If you're diving on the floor for basketballs, if you're sprinting down the field, trying to make a tackle when it's probably going to be a touchdown, but you're trying to prevent one, I'm all about hustle and effort. And the thing is, if you're not as talented as everybody else and you still do that, I love that kind of stuff.
I want to give another. Maybe this isn't the same thing, but I want to give some love since it's Valentine's Day to my point guard on my NBA team of Darius Garland for the Cleveland Cavaliers, because he had struggled last 2 years with Donovan. They couldn't really figure it out, but boy, he has turned into one of the, honestly, a top 3 point guard in the NBA this season. He has been so fun to watch. Another guy, Victor Wembanyama. Nikola Jokic. Those are guys that I absolutely love watching play basketball. Their two styles of play are so different and so unique. Nikola Jokic, in my opinion, is the greatest offensive center of all time. And I don't really think it's that close. I don't think it's that close anymore. He is truly one of the things he can do with the basketball. And people don't like watching him play. I don't get it. It is so cool and unique to watch him.
I love that he is not he's not just this Greek god of a figure. He's just this white guy out there that can do things that nobody
Was that a shot at
else can.
Giannis? Was that a shot at Giannis directly?
I don't care. I mean, what? Look at, if you saw Jokic in a lineup and you didn't know what he did, would you say he's one of the best players in the NBA?
No, but he
exactly
is scary. I would not want to be on his bad side. That is a scare. When he yells at the refs, my God, I feel so bad for them because he goes beet red, and I don't think they can understand a word he's saying, and it is a frightening sight, I would assume.
Ooh, Michael with a good one. Michael FB Bank texting. He said his would be Dustin Pedroia. He doesn't play anymore. Oh, I would agree. Love Pedroia. Yes.
The intro clip, the Gershon build. Dustin Pedroia's got the Gershon build.
He does have the Gershon build. That is a fact.
For sure.
If I had to pick a lady,
okay,
I'm going Sabrina Ionescu. Now, she is super talented, but she's got skills. She can shoot it. She can finish. I like Sabrina Ionescu.
I'll go Caitlin Clark just because she's my favorite women's basketball player to watch ever. So
she is good as well. She is a superstar stud, no doubt about that. All right, let's get to the walk-off.
And back lifts his ball deep to right. How about a walk-off three? Thomas to the 10. Denver's going over to New England. They win it on the first play of overtime. Mahomes flings it. It's there. Hardman. Jackpot. Kansas City.
It's one of my favorite days of the year and one of my favorite times of the year. It's opening day today of college baseball season, that is. So many great storylines follow in a sport that not many people do follow, although it is gaining traction over the last few years. Regional teams in action this weekend include KU opening their season down at Corpus Christi, Texas, taking on Texas A&M Corpus Christi. That is a 4-game series that gets going today. K-State heading to Conway, South Carolina for Baseball at the Beach, as it's known. It's a classic there. They'll take on teams like Coastal Carolina, Washington, some other teams that are coming in. And Nebraska going down to the MLB Desert Invitational in Arizona. They'll play where the Diamondbacks and Rockies play, where the Cubs play. Get some warm weather and some baseball. Great time of year, Maxwell. Great time of year.
It is. And I'm so excited. Like, I'm putting so many different college baseball hats on this year for all the fly boys that I called this summer in Tennessee that are all at different schools, Oklahoma State, Tennessee, Vanderbilt, Stanford. I'm so excited to watch them.
All the powerhouse places.
Well, they're all really good at baseball, so I'm pumped up. But yeah, I'm excited to just scroll through ESPN Plus and watch some of the guys I got to know this summer play. It's going to be exciting.
Yeah,
I love
college baseball, no doubt about it. Super, super cool. Also, thank you to Brian just chiming in on Facebook. His crushes, Tony Gwynn, Jim McMahon, and Pat Summit. What a group. What a group. Great group there, Brian. Wow, that's fantastic. So anyway, that'll do it for us today. Good luck to all the regional ladies wrestling today in regionals. Best of luck at that today as the postseason begins. And, of course, don't forget you've got Colby and Goodland on the radio waves of NWKS Radio tonight for high school basketball. For Max, I'm Ross. Have a great weekend. Stay warm. We'll see you on Monday.